Frank Dumbleton. I was one of the very early members of the society, and the original four were friends of mine, but I wasn't one of the original four. I had the misfortune to be at boarding school in Surrey, and I only went train spotting in Southall during vacations. Now, if you look at the back of your programme, you'll see a photograph of four smelly Herberts on the footbridge at Southall. Angus is the one crouching down behind the camera. Graham Perry is on the left. John Barlow is on the right, although he claims he never smoked and he never wore a beret. And back behind them, it's not Mike Peart, but it looks a bit like it could have been Mike Peart. And while you're here today, don't forget to go round towards the steam rail motor shed, where there's a section of the same footbridge. So you can stand on the footbridge where wheels stood in the 1960s, and we could watch this wonderful free show of all the trains going through the main line, and the engines going onto the engine shed, which were mainly small engines, large, dirty, heavy freight engines. And then there were a few of these 1400s. I sent Mike Peart an email earlier this week and said, do you have any ideas? And he said they liked the 1400s because they were adorable. Now, do you think this engine's adorable? Oh, yes. Anybody doesn't think she's adorable? No. So the eyes have it. That's great. So they wrote this letter to the Railway magazine. It got published, and then John Barlow, whose address was on the letter, he was on holiday in the Lake District. He came back from his holiday and found that several people had written supporting his idea, and among the letters was a letter from St John's College in Cambridge from a Mr. P.H. Farmer, and that made John panic because here we had a Cambridge academic promising £10, and of course we had all just done our O-levels, so we felt rather overwhelmed by this. And John came cycling up to the footbridge, touching these letters and saying, what the hell do we do now? And somebody said, let's have a committee meeting. And John Barlow and Angus could make a meeting the next day. I said I could go along as well. So Angus and I cycled over to John's house in Hounslow, and we drafted a letter that said it was our first tentative attempt, and we detailed John off to write the letters on his typewriter, and then we didn't have much else to do that evening, and John's father luckily was on holiday, and he had a hi-fi which was quite rare in 1961, and there was a record that was Angus's fancy that was Big Noise from Winnetka by Andy Nelson. So let's see if we can get up Big Noise from Winnetka.
This is from the I can't even hear it.
I think we've been defeated by the technology on that one.
Yes, everything's defeated these days.
So anyway, that evening we played Big Noise from Winnetka. Angus got very excited by it. He got a stick and ran round the house bashing everything in time to the music. And John was very worried that Angus was going to smash one of the demijohns that his parents used to brew wine in, but we got away with it. And David has mentioned that the original society broadened its scope by becoming the Great Western Society. And that was a brilliant stroke by the four 16-year-old founders. Because they suddenly broadened it from a locomotive fund to a National Preservation Society. And the reason we were able to get away with stealing the Great Western brand, which is the most potent brand in railway history, was that there was a certain Stanley Raymond, who was the general manager of the Western region at the time. Now, he had been appointed, and it was said he started a reign of terror to destroy the traditional practices of the Great Western Railway. So while they were intent on destroying the Great Western, we stole their brand and ran with it. And that was the basis of our future success. And in your programme, you'll see the story of how we came to Didcot, because David Patterson, who was the divisional manager, local divisional manager at Reading, was embarrassed because one of our later purchases was number 6106 that was living in a good shed at Taplow, and David Patterson went past with the same Stanley Raymond who had been promoted to be chairman of the British Railways Board, and he saw 6106 and he said, "Funny, I've always scrapped all those." So David Patterson decided it would be better for us to move somewhere less visible from the main line, like Didcot Engine Shed. So that was how we got here, and then a few months later, Stanley Raymond was sacked by the Minister of Transport, Barbara Castle. So that was the end of his career. So we arrived here at the end of 1967 on an epic journey from Devon behind 1466 and Burton Agnes Hall, which is in the engine shed today. So that's how it all started. I'll now hand you over to Phil Morell, who's going to talk about restoring 1466 this time around. Thank you.
Well, firstly, it's great to see everyone that's come from the Heritage Railways, the old founders, and even all of the old friends and families that was basically from the early people, which is all great and thanks. Where do I start? It's been quite a roller coaster, really. And I say it would be another 700th century. It's been an epic fight from the get-go, and it's not been easy in any way, shape or form, really. I have to say a massive thank you to the West Somerset and also the Forest, whose value for getting this loco back and working has been absolutely critical, really. Its latest overhaul has been quite far the most expensive since BR, The boiler itself has received 2 new boiler barrels. Its actual firebox inside has received 2/3 of a new copper firebox. And whilst all that's gone on, we've also had the whole of the chassis had basically a nearly new rebuild. So it's, from the ground up, been an absolute masterpiece of work and heritage engineering. It's fair to say that 1466 will now be with us for many years to come. In fact, it will probably mostly outlive us all, really, including myself and probably quite a few others. It may have been a long road, but overall it's been very much worth it. And for all who's been involved with it, you should be very proud of what you've achieved. I must say a big thank you to 2 people. One is Boss Mary and also Lee Drew. Throughout this project have always been there to help me guide and encourage me through this, and throughout this I've not a great deal. We all know the story of the 4 boys that died with what planes and over these things. But to see it back is basically from so much joy to some of the old faces and new. I can only hope it brings as much joy to everyone that comes to see it in future, present, and whenever, as I have for the past 6.5 years. Some say I might have had a short straw in overhauling it, but in terms of getting through it all, everything has been greatly worth it, and I can only hope that it lives on. So thank you all. If I can quickly grab everyone that's been involved in the project, so we can have a few photographs, then we'll go for a quick spin. Yes, that does include you, Ryan. And then we can go and have some fun. So thank you all very much for coming, and I hope you enjoy your day. Go on, Ian. Hold.